Hello, and welcome to the CUP Ringside, a part of the CUP Network. And we always give you the best seat in the house on all things wrestling. And this week, we give you the best seat in the house on all things King and Queen of the Ring. I am your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because I love me some tea. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I'm currently just drinking on some water. I actually have two bottles of water. I don't know why. I got two bottles of water, but no, I thought this one was almost empty, so I grabbed another one. But then come to find out this one was nowhere near empty. So there we go. I don't know, but it's okay. I might drink it all this episode. But yeah, I'm drinking water. But if I was drinking anything else, something a little bit less water like, I would drink it out of my cup mug. And you know what? You can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanajcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do have new items in the Etsy shop. You should go check it out. If you haven't checked it out before, you should go check it out. We might have t-shirts and fanny packs and other things popping in there. So go check out our cup store on atlantagscreation.etsy.com. We do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses. Period. Get your cup merch.
Well, the game has delivered yet another good show. I'm losing my edge, Lana. I'm running out of impressions. I don't know what to do. Let me just tell you, though, we have to go. This went from unpredictable, or from totally predictable to completely unpredictable. Some shocks along the way, and I cannot wait to report on that, including some news involving Gunther.
I don't know what's happening. We got to figure out what to do, Toph.
No.
We need more intros, and we can't have you not doing it.
You see, when my boy goes to Saudi Arabia, he has to get down and dirty when he fights with the Logan Paul. That son is an entertainer, but my boy is a wrestler, and it's all about the cash money. His favorite color is green.
Work. Perfect. Absolute. Okay, good. We came back around. We did it. And I appreciate it. Thanks, Topher. That was top notch.
You're welcome.
Back to where we came from. I feel much better. I was a little uneasy with you not being there. I was a little uneasy with you not being at the top of your game. But you're back. Whew, okay. But yeah, we are here. We are talking about King and Queen of the Ring.
Royalty. But
it would not be the King and Queen of the Ring here on the cup without crowning our newest Queen of the Ring. All hail, Queen Brook. All hail, Queen Brook.
Hello.
Down to you.
Thank you so much. Peasant Topher, I do believe you vividly stated that this card was unpredictable. However, it may have been unpredictable for one such as you. However, when you have royalty flowing through your veins, it's all too easy. And I am henceforth the Queen of the Cup for the remainder of this calendar year. And when this pay-per-view inevitably returns, because Triple H has been blessing us with all of the classics,
not the Queen.
I will become a two-time.
Not the Queen breaking up. We can't hear you. Or is it the Queen?
The Queen has bad audio because she just moved to a new apartment. Okay. However,
well, we stand moving up in the world.
The Queen will be defending this crown for an entire calendar year, so you best be ready, and you best come correct. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into it because this show it had no business being this good.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I for some reason my tech mic went out and I couldn't hear anything you just said, Brooke. So I was like, what happened? But it's okay. It's okay. I hear everybody
We
now.
haven't even gotten into the live of it all.
We should go on.
Oh,
Let's
trust
talk
me,
about this.
we will get there very shortly.
Oh.
Let's talk about it because, man, I agree with you, Topher. This show had no business being as good as it was. We have been very soured and spoiled by very mediocre Saudi shows in the past. Like, very mediocre Saudi shows in the past. It was just like, this one was probably one of the best Saudi shows that I've seen in quite a while. And I enjoyed it. And I was not expecting to at all. I thought it was just going to be typical. I mean, I thought it was going to be typical, like with the crowd. I thought the crowd was going to be a little laid back like they usually are. And it was just like, this crowd was hype. I feel, and this is me personally, y'all can disagree with me if you want or if you think, but I feel like the France crowd has sparked something in the WWE universe where everybody now feels like, wait, we have to at least try to match the energy from Backlash at every event we go to. Like, people are actively complaining when crowds are horrible. Like that last crowd at Raw last week. Horrible crowd. Crowd was just so like, no, nothing. And everybody on the internet was blasting them about how horrible the crowd was. And but ever since Backlash, each crowd is like, I'm trying to match this energy of France. So I want to say thank you, France, for giving some life into these people, and so we can get excited about wrestling again.
As the international queen, I just have to say, seeing all of these international countries that don't normally get their shows be graced with the presence of WWE is a beautiful thing, and we should be spreading this wealth even further across the globe, because this is one of the largest largest entertainment companies, period, globally. So the more outreach we're doing across the planet, we're going to see all of these live crowds with all of these fans get their money's worth. We're getting live events in Japan soon. They haven't been there in 3 years. They're granted they're invading the New Japan turf, and that is part of the reason they don't go there very often. But you tell me that if WWE put on a show in the Tokyo Dome, people wouldn't buy tickets.
5 stars in the Tokyo Dome, baby. And
hey, we had 5 stars in France.
We had 5 stars in France. And let me tell you, that is what I think that separates the PLEs, because a lot during the previous regime, the PLEs were blending in with your regular Monday Night Raws and your regular SmackDowns. I think Triple H has perfected this less is more art. So first, to the point on the crowd and how crowds are, I think the crowd in WWE, the WWE universe, if you will, has taken a face turn. Because before it used to be about trying to hijack the show, and now they want to actively enhance the show. They want to get those tweets and reposts and about being, breaking the noise barrier and to being an actively supportive crowd, because then guess what? WWE will come back to your town. And then the PLEs feel special when they're international. I think almost every PLE this year is international with the exception of the big stadium shows. Right? Like we had the baseball stadium for the Royal Rumble, but then we went overseas for Elimination Chamber, back into a stadium show for Mania, and then back overseas for France. We're back overseas for Saudi. We'll be back overseas for Clash. We'll be back overseas for the Berlin show, right? Like that's, and then back to the States for the stadium.
And that's something that they mentioned a while back, was that they were going to be trying this thing where they throw these smaller pay-per-views in international markets. Unqualified success. I don't think there has been a single problem with any of these things outside of maybe inconsistent start times for events, but like that's standard anyway.
I'm okay with it. Give me a Saturday afternoon PLE all day long.
Please.
Absolutely.
But I mean, not even just that, we're also getting new experiments next year too. We know we're getting SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights next year.
2026.
2026.
Oh, sorry, 2 years from now. But we're getting these newer ideas and newer situations are popping up frequently. So it's really going to be interesting to see where we're at, 6 months from now, heading into like Survivor Series time, uh, and beyond.
Yeah, I kind of feel like me and my sister was talking about it today. I kind of feel like they're going to eventually make all the big four PLEs 2-day events because they wanted to feel like WrestleMania every single time of those big events. And then if we're going to do that, then we make all the smaller PLEs, like say international, so we can have international crowds get more PLEs, all different parts, and then we get the big four in the states, and their 2-night big events. That just adds something to, I guess, to the brand of WWE. And I was like, at first, I was kind of like, I don't know about a 2-night SummerSlam. What does that entail? Why do we need it? But I'm like, why not? Because
Well,
that means more matches. That means more people, more talent get to showcase their skill sets on these shows because we got 2 nights of 4-hour events, probably. And so you do 4 hours, 2 nights. That's more matches, more people, more
well,
money for the WWE.
Hmm.
and you get more matches without taking away the time.
Right.
I think that's what's been the biggest success because both Backlash and this event only had the 5 matches.
Yep.
I know there was a kickoff match, but I didn't get to watch that because I didn't realize there would be a match on the kickoff. But yeah, so like there's those 5 matches, and each match getting a longer amount of time gives time to build story. When you
Hmm.
throw 10 matches on a card, the entrances take 10 minutes for the entrances, and then you come out and they only have 5 minutes of match. The match isn't good. Nobody gets over, nobody gets invested.
Right.
Put a rest hold on, let me see if it gets out of that. Like,
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason I have been such a big supporter of the 2-night WrestleMania format, because I remember when it first happened, we were like, oh, this is how WWE is going to compensate for COVID. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be a one-time thing. But then it's kept going and it has grown and evolved, and now I can't imagine going back to a one-night WrestleMania. I think we are just so far removed from that as an idea now.
yep.
Because I know we've already mentioned New Japan once today. New Japan did it ages ago with Wrestle Kingdom, and they've still been doing it that way until I believe this year was the first time in a while they did one night. And it worked for them. And I think WWE's a little more reasonable to changing their ideas. But the idea of SummerSlam being the one that they go to next, I think is a great idea. It's the most
Mm-hmm.
isolated out of the big 4 events, in terms of like where it's at on the calendar, because you got Survivor Series, then the Rumble, and then like 2 months until WrestleMania. So I think putting it in the middle so we don't feel like it's just going to be back to back to back to back is a great idea. And also, it lets Minneapolis get their weekend because they wanted WrestleMania
Right.
badly. And the
Yep.
only reason they didn't get it, and this is just my opinion, is because it is going to be cold, so
Yes.
cold,
And
and they can't do it in
right.
Minneapolis in the winter.
Well,
That's
and
where I'm at with it.
they have 2 years to build up SummerSlam's importance and to provide stakes. And if the King and Queen of the Ring can do that, if you can have these tournaments matter, then
Yep.
it makes SummerSlam that much more of a bigger deal 2 years from now, because you're like, look what the King of the Ring did to, we'll talk about it as we get on, but like the stars that it built this year.
Right.
And then the stars that it built next year. Make it something that, like, I want that SummerSlam in Minneapolis, because 2 years out, we have no idea what that field is going to
Right.
look like.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to see it. But we are going to get into King of the Ring. Before we do, I forgot to do the business part of it all the way before we started talking, but it's okay. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to all of our other channels. All those links will be in the description below. We have 4 channels here on the network, so subscribe to all of our channels. We're trying to build up our channels and getting algorithms. If you know people who just like wrestling or WWE, tell them to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, do all the things. Like I said, go to subscribe to all our other channels, our membership channels, and get exclusive content and early access to on all of our membership channels and things like that. And yeah, do those things. But sure, let's get into it because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. I don't like this one, so I'm gonna go to the other one. Nope, because
Oh
what?
no.
Oh, I took the Queen of the Ring out of here. Oh my
Bring
goodness.
Brooke back. Bring Brooke
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. I know.
Unacceptable.
How dare you?
You are entitled to one mistake, Lana. One
No,
mistake.
Queen.
No, look, I beg of you, Queen Brooke, to please forgive me for my one mistake, and I promise you to never do that again.
One mistake.
Well, it's about to be two because I have to change it. So it's not a mistake though. I'm just changing it. I'm
You're
fixing
fine.
it. So thank you. I'm going to do
You're
this, but
fine.
I am not. It's
Only
not a
happy.
mistake. It's just
Only
me fixing it and
only
adding
happy
it and making it.
accidents
Yes,
here at
only accidents.
the Cup Ringside.
I do this. I should have done this before we started. I know. Don't yell at me. I just forgot. I forgot. It's a hard job to do this, people. Please don't hate me. It's a hard job. There, see, there's Brooke. Brooke is here. I'm bringing Brooke in. Don't yell at me. Okay, and I'm gonna make Topher and myself as equal. I mean, even though we are not equal to Brooke because
Oh yeah.
Brooke is the queen and we're just her humble servants, peasants, I say for now. But I do
Peasant.
want to I do want to at least make us the same size.
Peasants and pheasants.
Not fat. Well, look, I don't kind of like that.
I don't even know what that is.
a a
I just
bird? I think a pheasant is a bird. Is a pheasant a bird? I think so. All right,
yeah.
all right.
Oh, a pheasant. Yeah, it's a bird.
It's
Oh,
a
that's
bird.
kind of cute.
I
Okay.
can confirm that indeed a pheasant is a bird.
I even
However,
made you. I even made you bigger than us, Brooke, because you're the
Yes.
however,
queen.
you all are not pheasants. You are merely peasants. So, God, I'm
I
drinking
made
in the
you.
power. It's delightful.
I
One
love
day.
that. I made you bigger than me and Topher because you are the queen today.
There
As you
we
should.
go.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
But let's get into it. I did include the kickoff match because I watched it. So I will talk about it since I'm the only one who watched it.
Can confirm. I saw the
That
ending. I
is
could talk about the ending.
Yeah, it
right.
did. The ending was shown on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the ending was kind of amazing. But anyway, it's Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. This match came out of really just what happened on SmackDown between these two teams. After Bianca lost to Nia, India and Candice decided to taunt her in the backstage area about her loss, and Candice LeRae making it clear that she is the reason her knee is hurting in the first place, and that is why she lost this match, and that's why she will not be Queen of the Ring. And so when Bianca got up into her grill and was like, "Oh, excuse me, what?" And she was like, "Yeah, what you gonna do? You by yourself, blah blah blah." And then Jade Cargill comes out of nowhere, was like, "Oh, do we have a problem here?" And they were like, nope, no problem. We go. We leaving. And so they leave. And Jay was like, yeah, I'm about to go talk to Nick real quick. We'll be right back. So this match happened because of that. And they weren't going to fly Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair all the way to Saudi for just SmackDown. So yeah, why not put them on the kickoff show? And this match was okay. It was good. Like it was what we thought would happen when someone has a injury. They definitely took advantage of the knee of Bianca Belair, and they were all over her. Once they got her away from Jade, they just kept her in the corner. And it was Indy and Candice for a good bit of this match. It was a good bit where it was just them all over Bianca. She really didn't have a shot at some stuff. And then she tagged in Jade. Jade comes in, and then the tides shift. It shifts. Jade does what Jade does. But it wasn't like they just let Jade not get any heat. Like Candice and Indy were on them. Like it was actually a really good match between the two. The chemistry was there. But the finisher of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill that I've not seen them do, but it was Like,
Ooh,
okay,
girl. Ooh, girl.
okay, all right. Jade picks up Candace, lifts her up. Bianca and I don't even know how to describe
Okay,
what I saw.
so Jade gets Candace into a wheelbarrow position,
Yeah,
right? Bianca drops her with a DDT,
yes,
then pushes her off with her feet into a wheelbarrow suplex from Jade.
behind
It's
her.
amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
And then
Um,
Bianca rolls over for the pin. Like, what?
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Um, for those of us fellow 2K people, you've known this move has been in 2K for several years now, but it is lovely seeing it being done in an actual match. Like watching that these two, especially these two beautiful women who are so incredibly talented in the ring, uh, and no one else could really sell that suplex the way I think Jade Cargill can. Uh, it was the momentum, it was the follow through, it was the failed kip up after when Bianca got in the way. Like it was all of that together, and I think it made the moment a little bit more unique than it would have been in any other match.
It was good.
And I love Jade Cargill and Bianca as a team. I think that them running together and running through the women's tag division is going to be incredible. I love that line that Jade said at the during the PLE itself, where she was like, "Who's looking for work?" Well, like, oh
Yeah.
man, I don't even remember how she
She
said
said,
it, but it was like,
She said, "Who's looking for work? We got the application." I was like, "Who?"
"Yes, that we
She
got the
she
application."
said, "Just fill
Like,
out the
what?
application." I was like,
Oh my god. Like it was fierce. So I think this is going to be good, and I honestly, like, I hope that it lasts for a while and it's slow burn, because let me tell
"Yes."
you that Bianca Belair versus Jade
The Jade.
Cargill is a main event anywhere else in the world, and it deserves special treatment, and so I need them to build slowly to get us there.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
just
it's going to be a lovely WrestleMania main event.
it's a
It's going to be
lovely WrestleMania, absolutely.
WrestleMania
Yep.
40 in Las Vegas, night one main event, Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. I'm telling you now. Possibly even night two, depending on what Cody's doing at that time and if The Rock is involved or not.
Mm.
Um, because I'll be real, I don't see them holding these tag titles forever. I think they're gonna lose them before we get to after we at SummerSlam, more than likely.
I don't
Um,
think so. I think they hold it for a while.
See,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna lose it, and I think Jade is going to take the belt off of a newly crowned Nia Jax. Um, and I think Bianca's going to get jealous of the Jade success, and then Bianca's going to turn heel into the main event of WrestleMania. However, that is just the Brook fantasy booking of the day. Um, I'm just going to say, regardless of anything, I am very happy that these two women are our tag team champions right now and adding to the prestige of these belts that have been so thoroughly devalued for so many years. So, good on you. Good on you, Jade and Bianca. Congratulations.
I just feel like they just are such a good team, and I feel like they bring out the best in each other. Like they are comfortable together, so they feel more comfortable and at ease when they're wrestling, and when they're like even their interviews and stuff is more like they like sisters, and they like we just hanging out and we just having a good time. I think Michael Cole and Corey Graves mentioned during the match how more fun Bianca Belair says she's having since she's been with Jade, and how much fun it shows in her wrestling. Like she was like, I felt like I was so nervous all the time and so like tense, and every match was so important. Like this is the most important match. And she said she felt that way. And now she feels a little bit like, you know what? She said Jade is teaching her to be like, it's okay. It's not that deep. It's not that we can have fun and we can just enjoy what we do. And so I think it's so great that Jade is teaching Bianca how to be more professional and how to, you know, attack these matches. And Jade is teaching Bianca how to just relax and enjoy the moment that you're living in. So it's a great combination with the two. They're beautiful. I love it. All right. And we move to the first match of the. Yes.
Might I?
I mean, I guess I have no choice.
Thank you so much. Your first opening matchup of the night is the fraud Becky Lynch losing the Women's World Championship to the one, the only, Liv Morgan. Cry about it. All of you haters, all over Twitter, all over Reddit, all of you all, you lost. You did not win. You didn't get what you wanted. Becky will not be champion anymore, at least not currently, because your girl Liv did it. She lived in her moment. She lived in her truth, and she is now your living women's world champion. Thank you very much. Moving on.
I this was absolutely incredible. I thought they told an amazing story. I was very surprised. I did not expect Liv to win this match. But also I enjoyed and like I love where they're going with the Dirty Dom interference and coming out and like Becky did the right thing by being like, I don't want your help, but Liv showing that the only thing that matters to her right now is that world championship, which is an excellent quality in a heel, mind you. And I love heel Liv Morgan. She is slaying the house down. And I thought it was incredible. And I'm very curious, because here's the thing. Dominic is a heel, right? Dominic is a bad, bad boy. All right. And Rhea Ripley is on an upward trajectory. She is becoming so awesome that it is hard to ignore her and hard not to cheer her. So that allegiance between Dami and Mommy is going to have to split up. And what dastardly deed could Dom do? Team up with Liv Morgan and be Dom's new mommy.
I mean, I said that. I think I was like, when they started playing around with the Liv Dom situation, I was like, oh, okay. I like where this is going. I like where y'all headed because Liv made us a promise. She came out and she said, look, Rhea, I am going to take everything from you. I am taking everything. And so I'm like, if she's going to take everything, Dom has to be part of the deal. Like she needs to, the Judgment Day needs to go. Everything that Rhea loves and had and wanted, Liv needs to take it all because she promised us she's going to take everything from Rhea because of it. She has already taken her time and now she's injured. She's like, okay, you gone. I done took that. Now I've taken your belt and now I'm gonna take your boy and then I'm gonna take your group. Like, wouldn't it be amazing if Liv Morgan is now the face or comes in? Because after this, I think Damian Priest is in Judgment Day. I think it's like if Judgment Day happens to hold on for some, what if Liv Morgan takes Rhea Ripley's place in Judgment Day? That would be crazy, but it would be I could see it happening because Liv, for me, right now, gives more Judgment Day than Rhea Ripley gives Judgment Day. That's just me personally.
Perfect.
Because she's like you said, Liv Morgan is kind of amazing. Liv Morgan is the Liv Morgan that I liked more than the babyface Liv Morgan. I thought babyface Liv Morgan was cool, but I like her as a heel more. And I feel like this is something that I didn't particularly think this story should happen right now, honestly. I'm gonna be honest because I said in the prediction that I didn't think Liv Morgan winning this belt is the right move, only for Rhea to come back and take it off of her because I don't want Rhea to come back and take it off of her because then what are we doing the whole revenge tour for? I needed Liv to take that belt off of Rhea Ripley. I need Liv to be the one to come in and just destroy everything in Rhea's past like she wanted and just take it. But if this is the story that they go with, great. But I still don't want them to take this belt off of Liv and have Rhea be the one to do it. I don't want that to happen unless they are going to go back and forth and back and forth. Like she takes it off and then she come back and take it back off her. Now, if you do that, sure. But the whole point of the revenge tour for me is for her to take the belt off of Rhea. And I don't want Rhea to be the one to come back and take it off of her. That's my only thing. I hope that doesn't happen. But I am very happy for Liv because she deserves. she deserves.
Well, I mean, something that we've mentioned before. Sometimes it takes time for these lifetime rivalries to be set up. Sometimes they happen in an instant. And I truly believe the moment Rhea Ripley turned on Liv Morgan, their careers became intertwined, and I don't think you're ever going to be able to fully accept them. And this was like 3 years ago. Um, you can't separate them from that point in my brain. They feuded for like 3 months after that. They've been bobbing and weaving against each other. Sometimes they're apart, but eventually they've came back together every single time since then. And I don't think we're ever going to be at a point where you can ever separate their two careers anymore. Um, and it just happens sometimes with people. I mean, to me, Sasha and Charlotte, very good example of that. You know, two people who had those feuds, had those rivalries. You could say Sasha and Bailey too. Just Sasha Banks and
Mm-hmm.
basically all of the four horsewomen. Sasha Banks is the GOAT. Moving on. But Trish and Lita, you know, like we've had these women throughout history where their careers are gonna go away for a little bit, but eventually they have to come back together and fight each other, like Molly and Victoria. It eventually happens every time. So don't be surprised if Rhea does come back and wins this title off of Liv at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's going to be the last we're going to hear of these two
Oh
against
no,
each other.
no. I think it's going to be when Rhea comes back. That rivalry is going to kick into overgear. Even if Rhea takes the belt off Liv, it's not over, and Liv is never going to let it be over because Liv is Liv lives in the world of petty, as we see. She like cry about it. She like I am
Mhm.
living in my petty life. So just believe if you take it off me, it's never over. It's never really over. So I'm excited to see the new Liv era and how she works this out and how this whole Dominic Mysterio plays into it, or what happens when Rhea does come back. It's building up for a good story. So I can't wait to see
Well,
it. I'm excited.
I mean, allegedly we're getting a rematch on Raw. So we'll see how that turns out tomorrow. Um,
Um, Liv
I
is
mean,
still winning.
she's
Liv's
going to
still winning.
retain for
Yes,
sure. We're going to
absolutely.
see where the story goes from here, though, because I would love for Dominic to keep trying to cost Liv in
Mm-hmm.
these, like, I'm trying to keep Liv from winning the title and keeping the title. I don't want Liv to have the belt. No, not at all. But,
Not at
like,
all.
at the end of the day, he still is the reason she's keeping the belt. Um, because to me, that
Ooh,
doesn't make Liv look bad.
Right.
no.
But I also think that makes her look sneaky and manipulative because we've never really had this idea of like, hey, you're going to come out here and you're going to try to cost me the match, wink. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one who benefits from it. And look at what happened last night at King and Queen
And
of
I
the
mean,
Ring. And I think it's going to
I,
keep happening in the future.
I mean, honestly, I don't. I just thought about this. I don't know if when Rhea comes back in that first match against Liv, she go get the belt back because what if Dom is still
Yep.
continuing to act like he's trying
Mhm.
not to, and that's the
It's
night he fully turns on Rhea Ripley.
it's giving me very much Chris Jericho and Christian's feud at WrestleMania in
Mm,
2004. Like
uh,
that energy of like Trish is with Chris. We know she's with Chris, but at the same time there's something else
she's
going on behind the
right.
surface. Like that's the vibe
Absolutely,
I'm getting. And also I mean
absolutely,
Christian is one of my men. He's my guy. So
absolutely.
I have no problems with Liv Morgan being Christian at this point in her career. I'm fine with that.
It works. We love to see it, but good on you, Liv. Congrats. Now we move on to the Sami Zayn and Chad Gable Big Bronson Reed match. This match was
This,
good.
yeah,
This match
this
was so good.
is-
I know it was gonna be good, but I was like, it was good for several reasons. It was good for, of course, the talent because these three men are just very good in the ring. But like, it was good for the atmosphere because these fans love them some Sami Zayn as they should. And Sammy came out to a king's welcome for real, for sure. And it was fun. But the match itself was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
yeah.
What y'all think?
Bronson Reed is a mammoth of a man. He is like he legitimately looks like he can hurt somebody and to do some damage, and it is just like I don't understand how one gets their muscles into that shape of being like that thick of just it's a freaking tree trunk, yo. But he, and then you've got Chad Gable, who is being compared to the new Kurt Angle. 100% agree with that. And then Sami Zayn in his hometown, not hometown, but like, getting a hometown reception. Like, what an incredible combination of like, story and excellence, especially for a triple threat match. To be able to put that together. I did not think for a second Sami Zayn was losing that. But I did enjoy that there's that descent between Chad Gable and Otis. And I'm very curious to see where that's going to go. But yeah, this was a really fun match.
I enjoyed every second of this. Special shout outs to Bronson Reed somehow doing a suicide dive. Like, we've talked about it before when Big E used to do them, but like we were terrified he was going to die. The second he started running, I'm like, oh, someone's going to like uppercut him or like whatever and stop him because we've seen that before. No, he's 330 pounds doing suicide dives. If that doesn't tell you that this is just part of their performance center training at this point, I don't know what does. But
and moonsaults.
Okay, we've seen Ivar do them, so I was like kind of not like fully aghast at that, but still it's incredible. Also, quick aside, speedy recovery, Ivar. We wish you well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just having a great time watching this match. I don't really know what else I can really add, other than it's important to note that Bronson Reed was the one that took the pin here. And we are not done between Chad and Sami. I think we all know that. And I think this was a smart way to not only make the Andre the Giant Battle Royal match feel like it mattered, but you also are going to make Sami and Chad still be able to feud together away from Bronson, who is probably not going to be, like we said, he lost the opportunity, he lost his match. Yep. He's not going to be getting into that same spotlight, hopefully, if you were going to keep this feud going between Sami and Chad, which I think is the right decision. I could see a world where Chad Gable wins the IC title at SummerSlam, and I would not be mad.
Well, yeah, I could see that world too.
And I didn't realize Chad has not held a singles title yet.
Ever.
Which is crazy because, I mean, Chad Gable was Jason Jordan's partner.
Right.
Yeah, Jason Jordan was Chad Gable's partner. Let's put it that way.
Listen, that is the son of Kurt Angle. You.
I mean, well, we could talk about it too because it is relevant to the conversation. I remember a few years ago when Baron Corbin won King of the Ring. We all thought Chad Gable was winning that tournament. Like, everyone thought Chad Gable was winning that tournament. He made it to the finals too. And then Baron Corbin won, and no one liked that. And it was a big demoralizer. And I think that was like right around the time he started doing the Shorty G stuff too. And he went from being like a guy on the precipice of making it through to getting slammed back down to a comedy gimmick.
Yep.
And I think we are finally living in a world where someone with power has seen the greatness that is Chad Gable and are going to let him do his thing. And I want him and Sami to feud for the rest of their careers. I don't care if Sami and Kevin Owens are destined to hate each other forever. Let it be Sami and Chad for like a year, please.
Because we've got, like you said, this new Triple H being in charge. He sees not only the charisma in the promo skills and storytelling abilities of these superstars, but also gives them time to be a pro wrestler as well. Like, that's what makes this incredible, right? Because you get, oh, he's funny. He can do Shorty G. Look how short he is.
Right.
Like, come on. No.
When he's like 5'8" and he's not even that short compared to some of the other people that are wrestling on the roster. But he's like an inch taller than Rey Mysterio.
Right. But he's incredible. He's incredible, and he's a fantastic heel. He's doing great as a bad guy. So I'm very excited. Chad Gable will get his dues, and it will be incredible. And I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with Otis. They left me wanting more. I want to see the next episode.
Yeah. It makes
Tune into Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then come back to Raw. So you talk about it with us here. Period.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Chad Gable and Sami Zayn are far from over. I do think Chad Gable winning at SummerSlam will be great. I think Chad Gable needs a title, a singles title to hold because he deserves it, number one. And he's really good. And I really think that will be the end of the whole Alpha Academy thing of it all, which I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I think Otis will go and be him, Maxine, Cesaro, whatever, make their own little thing and be fine. But uh, I just and speaking that, it's funny we mentioned Kurt Angle because the crowd actually gave Chad Gable the "You Suck" chance,
You suck.
and I
Yeah.
was like,
Not gonna
wow.
complain. Not gonna
And
complain about it.
you don't complain about that, like because the "You Suck" chant are very endeared, and it's like that's somebody we respect. If we giving you those chants, you are respected amongst the WWE universe. So he got that from the crowd, and I think that it's a foreshadowing of what's to come for Chad Gable, and I would love to see Chad Gable get a Kurt Angle like career because I feel like he deserves it. He earned it, and even if he doesn't get the exact same path, he still deserves his single shots and conversations in those championship titles because
Yeah.
he deserves.
Um,
It's great.
can we also mention one spot that happened in this match that I thought was really fun? Um, so Chad gets Sammy in an ankle lock, even gets the grapevine on the leg. And at this moment, okay, Bronson's gonna break it up, whatever. Bronson comes over, gets tripped over. Chad puts him in an ankle lock, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. But again, Sammy's gonna break it up. We know. And instead of him just breaking it up, Sammy puts Chad in an ankle lock. So we now have this like human centipede of ankle locks. I don't really know a better way to describe it than that.
It was good.
It was so clever. It was a better way to do that spot than they normally would have. Great stuff from all three of these guys across the board.
Absolutely. Great match. It was fun. Sammy still wins, and he's still the Intercontinental Champion. Congratulations to Sami Zayn. We move to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. And this match here, I was going into this match like, oh, Squash City. We're having 2 minutes of a match and we're going to call it a day. Poor Lyra. You had your Cinderella story. You beat Io Sky. Good on you, girl. Like, you go, girl. You ate that up. You made it to the finals. Let's have our squash match and let's crown Nia Queen of the Ring. Let's just do this already. It wasn't quite like that. I mean, Lyra showed some folks why she made it to this part of the Queen of the Ring tournament. She actually was fighting Nia to a point where Nia was like, oh, I was like, wait a minute. I started to believe, are they about to give this to Lyra? Right? Not, and it wouldn't have been a bad thing if they did, because honestly, if you're trying to push somebody into another level into the women's realm of of the women's group, and they wanted to do that for Lyra, this would have been a great opportunity to do that. Let her win the Queen of the Ring, have that title with her for the rest of the year, and then go on to SummerSlam and do something if that's what they want to do. Because we did find out that now being King or Queen of the Ring has incentive because you now have a chance to go against the champion of your choice at SummerSlam. We hadn't had that before. So now each queen or queen of the ring will go on to SummerSlam to face the champion in their brand. And I was like, oh, okay. So if they wanted to do that for Lyra, they could have, but they didn't, which I'm even still happy about because I wanted Nia Jax to win it because I feel like this is the time for Nia. Nia needed this more than anybody because she has looked amazing since she's come back from her time away. And now she's come back and looked even better. She looks more comfortable in her skin. She looks more comfortable in the ring. She looks like she's been training and working out those rough patches that she had, her rough edges, and now she's smooth. She knows how to control the temper. She knows how to control her actions. She knows how to be more of a ring, be present in the ring and not just so wild and
Yep.
untamed. And she just looks so much better. And I'm like, I've enjoyed this Nia since she's been back, and I've enjoyed seeing her perform in the ring. And I was like, this is a tournament that she could win, that she should win, for the fact that she could advance her career. People can see her in her new light and the WWE universe can, I guess, not accept her, but understand, like, see her, like, we see you, girl. We see you trying. We see you doing better. We see that you're growing in the ring. And if she goes on to SummerSlam and actually wins the title, I'm not that mad either. But I don't think because Bailey still.
Keeping it 100, I think Nia should win the championship at SummerSlam. Bailey has been adrift since WrestleMania. Not been on pay-per-view very much, if at all. Honestly, I can't remember her defending the belt since Mania on pay-per-view.
In
And
France, in a banger of a match.
Did
she did it in France.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? I forgot.
Yes,
it was incredible.
It was a great match.
It was a good match. Now that you reminded me, it was a good match. But like in general, she hasn't really been doing much, and like she's not been on SmackDown. She kind of has to be, but like I don't see a world where Bailey holds the belt past SummerSlam, really, and I think there is a world where Nia has the belt for a bit and drops it at Royal Rumble. Because I feel like they need that right now. And I don't think Nia losing at SummerSlam is going to make this tournament feel any special, because it should feel special and these wins should matter. And I think Nia winning is going to, it's going to make the Queen of the Ring tournament feel so important when, let's be honest, Selena Vega, as much as I love her, I bet you half the people watching the podcast forgot she was even Queen of the Ring. So let's keep it 100. Nia winning would be fantastic. And I think that is something that could really make this tournament feel special. But on top of that, this is the match that made me a believer in Lyra. Because I watch NXT. I watch NXT pretty much every week. And the big thing that last year, Lyra beat Becky Lynch, right? Clean as a whistle. That didn't make me believe in her, though. And I don't know if maybe that was because I don't think they had the best chemistry, or if Becky being in NXT always kind of felt like a bit of a weird choice at the time. But this match in particular sold me on Lyra, because you saw her do some incredible stuff in this match. That running double stomp within, like the double mushroom stomp in the corner that she hit on Nia in the tree of, like the weird tree of row position, was really cool. That wheelbarrow bulldog she hit at ringside was great. And that tornado DDT she hit on Nia near the end of the match was crisp. It was so smooth. It was gorgeous. But can we talk about the ending? Because I felt my whole body deflate. I felt my body die. Because
my whole chest caved in.
I felt like it's very rare in WWE that I get like transfer pain from watching someone else get hit. But I don't know. That sunset flip block into the Annihilator was gnarly. And again, we were talking about it before. There's like people were saying, "Oh, Nia's only doing this move because it's easy or whatever, or there's a limited amount of things you can do with it." No, Nia has proven to me this night, period, that this move has a lot more legs than people were giving it credit for, and I think it works for her in a huge way, better than anything she ever had before. And I think Lyra, did what she could. And I think they both made this match a lot better, even if it was the shortest match on the card.
I would agree that and it didn't need to be a longer match. I think that's the thing too, of like, there's times when you need longer matches, and I think there's times when having shorter matches work. First off, the promotional packages going into both the men's and women's tournaments, phenomenal. They gave it a sports-like feel. You had, Wade Barrett sitting there explaining through how the brackets work. You made Lyra feel like she is this Cinderella story. And I felt that there was very possible that Lyra could win this match. And then you had Nia coming in and boom, like Nia was annihilating the competition. And I do think Nia does need to go on to SummerSlam to win the match against Bayley, because you need to make this matter, because we're going to have to build 2 nights of SummerSlam 2 years from now. And this is when you start to make SummerSlam matter. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to this incredible run by Nia. The other thing I loved that Nia did was that she referred to it solely as the WWE Championship. In my opinion, it is redundant to, I don't think they need to say that, unless we're discussing without the superstars, involved, to clarify whether we're talking about the men's or the women's championships. And I think it should be women's WWE Championship and men's WWE Championship, not the WWE Women's Championship. That's
agreed.
Just, you know what I mean? Because you're just saying like the women's NCAA tournament and the men's NCAA tournament. But when you're in it, you don't have to specify that. So yes, Nia saying she was coming for the WWE Championship, chef's kiss.
Because we know who she's talking about. We know she ain't going for Damian Priest. We know she's not going for Cody. So come on, we don't have to specify. We know who we're talking about.
Although I would love to see.
I mean, if she wanted to go for Cody Rhodes, if she wanted to do that,
yeah.
I would love. I mean, I think Cody would have a time on his hands trying to defend.
He ain't hitting her with a vertebraker. I can tell you that much. But
listen, we could get Dirty Dom versus Becky Lynch 1-on-1. I would watch.
I would pay to see that.
I would love that.
Right. So
Becky Lynch was involved in the most recent intergender match in this company when she fought James Ellsworth like 5 years ago. So could happen.
I think there's a place. There is a place to experiment with having intergender matches. Mm-hmm. We could do a whole video on on top 10 intergender matches that we would like to see.
We'll talk about it at a later date, though, because we're actually talking about this. Yeah,
absolutely, because we do have another King of the Ring match, and that is Gunther versus Randy Orton. And this match, my God,
so good.
My God, I was not that I am shocked, not that I am surprised, not that I am like, oh, I can't believe this match is so good. I knew this match was going to be good. But I didn't know it was going to have me standing up in my bedroom standing up, like I was screaming. It was so good. These two men performed on, I don't even think A game is high enough for how good they performed. It was so good. They were selling things that need to be sold. Like Randy Orton could sell his back pain like no one else. Like I for sure was like, this man is in agony. Like he is dying. Can we stop
He very well might be.
He very well, but he was selling it, and Gunther was like, Gunther is so good at being so like arrogant and condescending and like making me feel like, oh, I can't stand you. Like, oh, but I love watching him wrestle. Like I said, that first Clash of the Castle, when I first saw Gunther, that I first saw him, and it actually saw him. Like I've seen him around, but that was the match I actually saw him as the performer and the wrestler that he is. And I was like, wow, this man is really good at what he's doing. Like I believe everything he's doing. And it just grew more and more and more. And the IC title and all that stuff, it was just grew. This is why I love to hate Gunther. He just is so dang good, and he makes everybody he gets in the ring with looks even better. And then you put somebody like Randy Orton, who does the same thing. Like he can make anybody look good in the ring. And so you got these two men together doing what they do. It was phenomenal.
And the way that every single move mattered, and the commentators helped sell that so much. You saw an evolution of a story. The way they made a headlock matter, right? Sitting there discussing the things that a headlock can do, and the fact that it's you're not going to win a match with it, but it shows dominance. Oh man, and Gunther shoving Orton out of the way when Orton went to go RKO him. Gunther being aware enough to not let Orton hit the the backslide thing and being like, oh, maybe he tweaked his knee. He might have tweaked his knee. And then him not being able to get all of it when he does go to hit it. Oh my gosh, this was it. This was classic. Oh, this was like, this is Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, King of the Ring semifinal, levels of incredible. I was like, I believed every single bit of movement that took place in this match, and even the finish. Even though the finish was wonky, Triple H rectified that later on Twitter. You know what I mean? And instead of ignoring it, instead of pretending it didn't happen, we're coming out there and we're saying, no, the ref's decision is final. Gunther is still King of the Ring. However, at Clash of the Castle, we're going to run it back. We're getting it again.
And I mean, and on top of that too, right? Beyond the run back, beyond the finish, because the finish is something that I feel like is a valid thing that we could talk about. You know, it wasn't perfect. And I do think having Gunther beat Randy with a backslide wasn't the best choice, but I'm not going to be mad at it because I still think the right person won. I mean, obviously I called it. But on top of that too, I think something that really impressed me in this match and has been impressing me about Gunther for the past month since he lost the IC title, 2 months almost, but specifically since he came back when he lost the IC title. How did Gunther manage to make a half crab look like the single most devastating submission move in this company?
Yep.
Because for years we have made, as a fan base, have made jokes about the Boston Crab and the half crab looking like garbage and not hurting anybody at all. And then Gunther does a half crab, and it is suddenly the most devastating move in the history of pro wrestling. And I buy it, and it pisses me off because he should not be able to convince me of this after I have had such visceral hatred for this submission for a decade.
The commentators caught it too. They said this single move is hurting both Orton's leg and his back at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's tell facts here. He's been winning matches in this tournament with this submission. If I'm not mistaken, every single match in this tournament until the final, he has won with that half crab. All of them. And that's how you get a submission over, especially one that's, let's face it, kind of generic, you know? And I think somebody posted something on Twitter and they're like, all Gunther does is like power bombs and clotheslines and occasionally that top body splash in this half crab. And I'm like, yeah, no, but he also does more, one, but two, it feels different because Gunther has an aura. And we talked about it with Jade Cargill in the past. We talked about it with a few other people. The aura that Gunther exudes is just unworldly. I don't think anybody, even Jade in this company, quite measures up to the Gunther aura. And seeing him be able to make these things that, you know, an average person doing in the ring would just be like a transitional move and make them feel so devastating that you believe it when he hits you with a regular clothesline to win a championship or just a power bomb and you buy it. It's insane to me. Gunther is that guy. He deserved this King of the Ring championship, the title, and he deserves to have this World Heavyweight Championship match at SummerSlam. Now, will it be against Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, or other? We don't know yet, but I think no matter who it's going to be incredible. I'm rooting for it to be Drew McIntyre, though, for the record.
I think I don't know if I want the Gunther versus Drew McIntyre yet, just because that's such a bigger build. But yeah, I agree. This is Gunther's time. It is time for Gunther to step up. And I disagree as far as the backslide thing goes. I mean, Randy Orton is a seasoned veteran, but Gunther is the ring general. Gunther out wrestled Randy Orton. Like that's what that like. I think is what they're trying to tell there of like, you know, and as far as the 5 moves go, which I know that people are saying online, every wrestler only has 5 moves. Everything else is just in between, but you've got 5 signatures. Whatever happened to the signatures?
Well, I mean, and that's the big thing too. Like whenever somebody busts out something new, like we'll talk about it with Cody in a minute, where he popped out a vertebreaker tonight, which is something he used to do in AEW, but he hasn't done it in WWE at all since he came back. It's your eyes pop and you're like, oh, okay, that's insane to me. But like, why are we mad at Gunther doing chops and power bombs and clotheslines and the diving splash and the half crab when John Cena has used the 5 moves of doom and occasionally a 6th move of doom his entire career pretty much. And we made jokes about it back in the day, but no one ever was like, oh, we don't buy Cena as a performer because of this. If anything, I buy Gunther more as a performer because of this, because he's doing things that everybody else is doing, but because Gunther's doing it, I buy it more because he's making me believe. He is making me believe that his powerbomb is more devastating than any other powerbomb in this company. Yep. And like, if you don't agree with that, maybe you're just not watching his matches. Straight up.
I mean, but the people are fans are being fans, and they do that, saying that stuff about 5 moves, blah blah blah. They say the same thing about Jey Uso. He only has 5 moves. His move says only 5 moves. Like you say, everybody only got 5 moves, but it's all the filler stuff in between that they can do that some people feel like are extra moves. No, it's still 5 moves. It's just a little extra stuff in between that they doing, but it doesn't make them any less of a performer. And Gunther showed why he was amazing. He is the king of the ring. He will be the king of the ring for this year, and he will go to SummerSlam and face whoever is the champion at the time. And I am going to be excited to see it because I've always said it's time to put Gunther in that championship conversation. And for me, if we don't need him to win the King of the Ring. I mean, not the King of the Ring. He doesn't need to win the Money in the Bank match now because he won this. So let Jey Uso win the Money in the Bank. Thank you very much. That is my hope and prayer. And we move.
And we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about that Money in the Bank later. Yeah,
we will. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I'm going to do everything clean. I gave Michael Cole my brass knuckles on Thursday, so I don't have them. And we're going to do everything clean. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to face Cody Rhodes, and I'm going to win this title because I earned his shot at his title, but he didn't earn a shot at my title. So I don't have to do that. And I'm going to win it clean. And he lost.
Cool.
Unclean. I mean, he lost clean, but he lost.
After cheating
not
a lot.
Playing clean.
Yeah.
No.
What? I'm not going to get a ton of thoughts out here. All I'm going to say is right guy won,
yep.
Obviously. 2, great match. I really enjoyed it. But I want to talk about the production on this. Because I think, one, we've been talking about the production ever since Kevin Dunn left a few months ago. But the way that this company has changed their shots and are trying and experimenting with new things is incredible. WWE using a drone to shoot 360 around Logan Paul, taking a sip of the Prime, and then doing a frog splash onto the table, which we've seen him do before, right? Well, it's tough facts. He does it in about 2/3 of his matches, whatever. But
it's one of his 5 moves.
It's one of his 5 moves, you are correct. But him doing it to Cody with this shot made it feel different, and it made it feel special. And I'm going to have to give props to Logan Paul for that, because apparently he had this idea last year. So props to Logan Paul for bringing some creativity in. That vertebraker, I was stunned. I know he tried it earlier in the match and they blocked it, but like, how often do we see people try to do devastating things and it not work out and then they never go back to the spot? Actually seeing a vertebraker in WWE for the first time since, like, I think the Hurricane used to do one in like 2003, 2004, was insane. I think they sold the hell out of that vertebraker too. Like, just incredible match all the way around. I hate the fact that Cody used 3 crossroads to put away Logan. You could have just done 1. And I think you doing it to Roman made sense. He is Roman Reigns. Like, I get that. But every time he does the 3 crossroads to win the match, I think it just makes the crossroads look like a weaker move. Personally.
Yeah.
Except when he did it to Roman. That is the only exception. Because to me, it's like, oh, I'm not taking any chances. I'm hitting him with 3 of these, and then I'm beating him. My guy, it's Logan Paul. It's not Roman Reigns. It's not Roman Reigns.
Hit 1 and call it a day.
Call it a day.
I agree. I mean, the first time he did the 3 crossroads, from what I can recall, was against Seth Rollins inside of the Hell in a Cell. And it wasn't, he needed 3 to beat him. He was just so angry and needed to like hurt Seth Rollins. So like it made sense. And then, yeah, like you said, it was necessary to beat Roman Reigns. But yeah, if you're just going to do it in every major match, come on.
Mhm.
Like, the Crossroads is a fine move. It's a fine move.
It's fine. It's fine.
You
but
made
it's-
Damian Priest change his finisher, my guy. You better do something with it.
right. But
I'm happy he won, obviously. And I think that it's going to be a great time whenever he's fighting someone in the future. And it's going to be even better time when Logan Paul drops the U.S. title that he hasn't defended since Mania. So, yay.
I know that we hate Logan Paul in general as a society, but I can't deny Logan Paul's contributions to the WWE and to wrestling, and the fact that every Logan Paul match is a good match. It's a spectacle. Creative things such as bringing the drone to do the 360, like, he brings eyes to WWE. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta say, it's better. WWE's better for having Logan Paul. I do think that this was a match that could have had a bigger build and had a bigger, payoff. But hey, you know what? It was good for what it was. Logan Paul is a trooper, and Cody Rhodes is incredible, and he is our champion, and he looks like a champion, and I love Cody Rhodes.
And I mean, to me, I'm not even going to say I hate Logan Paul. I don't feel really any strong way about Logan Paul as a person or as a performer. He's great, no lying. But as a person, I don't really care, because I don't know the guy. I don't feel like I can make a judgment on a person if I don't know them, unless they're like a loud anti-vaxxer like Lacey Evans. But what I will say is that I think that Logan Paul, I agree with you, Topher. I think he has made the product better since he came around. Do I think he should have the U.S. title right now? No. Do I think that he's probably going to drop it at some point soon, ideally in Cleveland? Yes. But I wish he would just defend it more. He's showing up for these pay-per-views. Like, I know he wasn't at Backlash, but, like, could have had him in a match with, like, anybody on SmackDown at this pay-per-view. I get why they did it, because Saudi Arabia likes having Logan in these bigger matches because they know it's going to get them more buzz. I get that. You could have had him you could have had Cody not on this show. He just defended the world title against AJ Styles at Backlash, right? You could have had Logan Paul in the main event defending against, like, I don't know, like, who is somebody in the King of the Ring that didn't win it? Maybe, like, I don't know, Carmelo Hayes, maybe LA Knight, if you don't want it to be heel. But, like, plenty of options on SmackDown. It didn't have to be this. But I'm not mad at it. I think they definitely could have done worse. So, great match across the board, though.
absolutely. Well, overall, I would love to hear what we thought. What would we give this show overall?
I'm gonna
Let's
say
the grading scale.
I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an A-, but only because I feel like some of the matches were a little bit distended from the others. I don't think it flowed very well. I think they should have opened with Randy and Gunther, and I think they should have, like, moved some things around. But I think the actual card was incredible, and I think all the matches were great, and the storylines were fantastic. And it makes me care about King of the Ring, which is something WWE hasn't been able to do in, since 2004?
2006 King Booker.
Oh, King Booker. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, wait a minute. William Regal, 2008. I cared about it in 2008. I'll give it that. But since then, I haven't cared. So good on you, Triple H. You did it. You made it.
Absolutely. I think I would agree with you, Brook. I think A- is a good grade for this King of the Ring, because I want to leave room for the improvement. I think it can improve, and I think now that the King of the Ring having the incentive of giving them a contract, a title shot, it makes people more, I guess, work harder or want to be king or queen of the ring even more, because they know they get that title shot. So I just leaving a little bit of room for improvement. So I would give it the A-, but it was a good show. It was definitely the better of the Saudi shows. So I'm very happy about that. Hopefully we can continue this trend and have good Saudi shows in the future. If we have to keep going there, at least make them good. That's all I'm saying.
And I mean, and it's something we didn't talk about earlier. We've never really talked specifically about the WWE Saudi Arabia relationship. It's been going on for 6 years now, right? It's been a thing. It is going to keep being a thing at least for 4 more years. Probably going to re-sign the contract after that. Let's be real. This is probably, I'm going to say probably because I think Night of Champions last year was also in the same ilk. The first time I have felt these shows didn't feel like a gimmick, where they didn't feel like, and granted, it's King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. Sure, it is going to have a little bit of a gimmicky feel to it, period. But like, Greatest Royal Rumble, that's a gimmick, okay? The idea of like the best in the World Cup thing that they did at the Saudi shows a few years ago that Shane McMahon won, that was a gimmick. And I think we are finally settled into the fact that, yeah, we're going to have 2 Saudi pay-per-views a year. They don't have to be glorified house shows. We can treat them like pay-per-views. And I think we are finally at the point where we are able to fully wrap our head around that as a company. And I hope it's consistent, because I think this is a good start and a good building off point for where Saudi and WWE's relationship could go in the future for these future shows that we know we're going to have.
Absolutely.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
But that is that, y'all. We have talked about the King and Queen of the Ring, and we are going to be right back here in June for Clash of Champions. June 15th.
Clash of the Castle.
What I call it Champions. Clash of the Castle is what I meant. I didn't mean Champions. Clash of the Castle, June 15th. So we're going to be right back here in the next few weeks to talk about Clash of the Castle, which we already know Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are going to be involved in a match. So I'm excited to see that. The last time Clash of the Castle happened was very good, and I'm hoping it's again very good this time around.
And Gunther versus Randy Orton.
Gunther versus Randy Orton. We running it again, as they say.
Running it back.
We're gonna run it
and
back.
I mean, not to mention, we also know we're getting Piper Niven versus Bayley at that show. So I mean, lots of really cool options here and lots of cool matches that we don't really get to see a lot. So I'm really interested. And like you mentioned, Lana, the last Clash at the Castle was, in my opinion, one of the best pay-per-views this company has ever done, period.
Yes.
Like, across the board. I don't think there was a single dud on that card. We'll see if this new one can live up to the hype, but it's going to be great no matter what, and I think it's going to be a fantastic show.
It is, and I'm excited to talk about it. So we're going to get out of here, but you all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and the notification on your way out. All hail Queen Brook. One more time, just for the record.
Queen Brook.
Because this will be the last time I say it to you the entire time we're ever doing anything else.
If I win the pay-per-view again, you will say it again.
We'll win the pay-per-view again. We'll see. But
it's been a long time coming. I finally got one.
It has. You got one, and I respect it, and I will give you your due and your props. But we hit the notification bell and the subscribe button on your way out. We appreciate you all for watching. Do all the things to let us know that you support us, and we appreciate you. Go subscribe to all the channels on go subscribe to all our other channels. Those links will be in the description in our link tree below, as well as our audio platforms. Our membership channels are all there. Follow us on our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can follow the 3 of us, because why not? We're cool people. Follow us and do those things. And we talk wrestling from time to time and other things. So follow us there. And also, if you want to get your Cup merch, get your Cup merch.
Cup merch. No, Cup merch.
Cup merch.
Lana G's Creations at Etsy.com. That link is also in the description below. And we're going to get out of here. So cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Make sure to bow to the Queen on the way out.
Take a bow.